Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Bastion, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
Brandon.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Jeff.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Jeff. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. My family's just getting over about 10 days of sickness, and we're all healthy, and that is a miracle.
I am glad to hear that. That sounds rough, especially when it's the entire household that's affected.
Yeah, 2 infants, 2 adults. It was a tough one.
Oh, man. I'm sorry. I'm glad to hear you're over it.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Brad, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Fred.
I'm glad to hear that. How about you, Steven? How are things down in South Carolina?
Rainy and hot.
Yeah. Yep. How about you, Brandon? We've got Brandon today.
Not rainy, not hot. It was a beautiful day today. But I am now disappointed that Jeff did not introduce himself by the nickname that I thought we all agreed on.
Yes, I'm sorry. Let me redo it. I am Jeff the Fred Slayer.
There we go.
Nice.
This is correct. Jeff is going to be my first round opponent in the upcoming Appalachian Cup final. So he is going to end my my pitiful ambitions to victory.
The best part about that is that Brad wasn't here when we talked about it and had no idea, so it would have been like perfect.
All right then. Well, Jeff the Fred Slayer. Well, let's begin by talking about the upcoming tournaments, and of course, it closed my calendar. Okay, the next tournament that I'm going to call out is April the 25th. This is the Appalachian Cup Finals. That is this Saturday, and I am excited. We already know who everyone is going to be playing against in the first round. If you are not in the tournament, then unfortunately you can't attend. So, but we will
attend.
keep
You just can't play.
Right? Yeah, you can show up. People, there may be people there who you can play against. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, but this is already set. So that's April 25th. Then coming up next month on May the 16th, there is a tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics. This is our local game store in South Charleston, and this is just a local tournament. It's usually pretty small, pretty sparsely attended, but we are always happy when someone makes the trip to visit us, so please do. We'd love to see you.
I need to put up the Longshanks for that. Thanks for the reminder, Fred.
You're welcome. Then on May the 23rd, there is a tournament at Fabricators Forge in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is the first of the 2026-2027 Appalachian Cup tournaments. So we're kicking it off next month already. I'm excited. Jeff, will you be there?
I absolutely am planning to be there.
Excellent. Yeah, so we're getting started right away for the next season. Then, coming up on the 30th of May, there is a tournament at Recess Games in North Olmsted, Ohio. This is a wonderful game store. I really like the games that I've gone to there. It's a great space. Everyone should go. It's really good. Yeah, and that's it. That's all we have on the schedule so far.
I think there's one more, Fred.
Is there one more? What is the next one?
I believe Drew has said July 11th in Ravenna is an App Cup tournament.
Okay. July 11th in Ravenna, Ohio.
I just saw that on the Discord, so TBD, keep an eye out.
Okay. All right. That's further away also. I'll call that out when we're getting closer to that event.
Great.
Yep, but those are the upcoming events in the near future. I think that there is some stuff we should talk about for AMG News. They released the tactics cards for the upcoming Sentinel boxes that are coming out, and we should talk about some of them. Some of them we will talk about today in the character that we are here to discuss, that being Bastion. But there are a couple that are for Nimrod specifically that we should talk about now because it wouldn't make much sense to talk about with Bastion. So, Brad, I guess I can start us off with the first one. It is called A Perfect Future. It is an unaffiliated reactive tactics card. When Nimrod the Hunter dazes or KOs an enemy character during his activation, he may spend 2 power to play this card. Nimrod the Hunter moves long. So, after he takes someone out, he can move long. What does everyone think about this tactics card? I don't know. It's neat. It's nifty. Nimrod is going to take someone out in all likelihood, and this is a good way to get him further up the table or more threatening to your enemy. But what do you guys think about this as one of the 5 tactics cards you get to bring? Brandon, what are your thoughts here on A Perfect Future?
Oh, thank you. You told me the name of it, because I was not paying attention. Honestly, any kind of out of activation movements can be really useful. Long's a real, it's a real long ways. So I can see this being something that you may want to take if you're having trouble keeping him in position, or if you get stuck on a D scenario. But there are a lot of tactics cards I believe that were shown, so you probably. I've never read any of them. I'm hoping that there are better ones than this.
I believe that there are, but
Yeah.
this one, it is. It has to be after he dazes or KOs someone, which I don't think he has any way of doing an attack outside of his activation. I could be wrong.
Fred, it says during his activation.
Okay, then yeah, okay. So it is during his activation he has to do it. So, but it doesn't cost him an action to do this long movement.
Yeah, so I mean, it gives him 2 attacks and a reposition. I think the real problem is I feel like Sentinels probably are really just fighting over 2 spots, with your 2 restricted cards and probably recal. So you really only have 2 spots you're really hunting for. It probably doesn't make it, but I don't think I would judge somebody if they had this in their 5, especially in certain matchups. You can like I said, you can finish something off. He normally just moves small. Getting a long move's a real big thing for someone like Nimrod that can then move, and then he still has range 3. So a long move and a range 3 attack is a lot of space to cover, especially if you get stuck on a D scenario.
That is very true. Jeff, what do you think about this card?
I think it's a pretty solid card. I can see playing this when you're ahead. I can see playing it when you're behind. It's unaffiliated, so you can play it on any faction you're playing Nimrod in. That being said, I'm not sure it's the strongest card, but I'm willing to try it.
Right, yep. How about you, Brad? What do you think about this?
My experiences with Nimrod, he gets in position and then he sits there all game.
Mm-hmm.
This, you could look at this card one of 2 ways. I say that and I haven't thought this thought completely through, so bear with me. It is a get out of free jail. If he gets thrown anything longer than short, he might need to move more than his place. He does have a place within 2. This could get him back on a point. It could help him reposition once per game. That's the second one. I got to 2. Something he sometimes may need to do, and you really don't want to use actions on. But that's about it. You don't want to have to reposition him more than once a game. So I can see it being handy. Having said that, I have not played this card yet in my 2 games since the cards came out.
Yeah, my thought here, I guess, is what scenarios you're going to play this in instead of the effect on his card, which is place 2. Yeah. And you're giving up a tactics card to replace your place 2, and I'm not sure it's that much better. And when do you need this and your place to? When do you need a place to and a move long? I'm not sure that exists as a scenario either. So I'm souring a little bit on this card as I think about it more.
Yeah. What do you think about this, Steven? What are your thoughts?
This card needs a clarification.
What's that?
Cards like the Shield Mobile say you advance long. This just says move long. So does that mean he moves long, or does his movement become long in the game?
It should.
You mean like
It should
he's
say
slow?
advance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if he is slowed, let's say he has the slowed special condition, does that mean that he would be affected by that? This would be a move short instead of a move long?
I don't think it matters for that, Fred. I think he gets to move long either, but it should say advance.
Every other wording is consistent except for this one. So now, if it is that his movement becomes long in the game, that's an eye opener.
It's definitely not that, Steven.
Yeah, but I'm just being devil's advocate right at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
That'd be way better.
It would be way better.
Punch a grunt, get long movement.
It does not do that, I think. Okay. So that is the first card that we are talking about. Let's talk about the next one called Building the Mother Mold. This is a Sentinel-specific card. It is reactive. During the cleanup phase of round 6, after scoring VPs from Crisis cards, any number of allied Sentinels characters may spend any amount of power to play this card. If 11 or more power was spent to play this card, gain 6 VPs. Okay. So this one, I gotta say, this is a play-at-home-for-fun card. This is in no way competitive, I think. How many times has it gone to the end of round 6? I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong. But the end of round 6, and you have enough models on the table to be able to spend 11 power. I don't know. You've either won or lost already. I guess this could change a lose from a win if you can swing at 6 victory points. Brad, what are your thoughts?
Fred,
You just said Fred.
This card is worse than you think. You have to make it to the end of turn 6. Have enough models that are still on the table to pay 11 power. Mm-hmm. And your opponent can't have gotten to 16. Or they would win before you got a chance to play this card.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Because you play cards after VPs are scored.
Okay, so this is terrible. This doesn't even work. This doesn't even function. Okay.
Rules as written, this happens in like 1% of games.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really
bad. Steven, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah. You might use it in a mirror match, and that's about it.
Yeah. Jeff, I mean, what are your thoughts?
Beyond like some of the cleanup scoring and end of game rules that have to be explained for this, it's just never going to happen. Just, you can hope and pray, but I don't think this is ever going to happen.
This reminds me of the Craven the Hunter card, something symmetry, evil symmetry, whatever. Oh, fearful symmetry, where he becomes 4-threat Spider-Man if he is able to kill Peter Parker. That's fun. I don't think anyone has ever made that happen.
Yeah, they have.
I mean, I have killed Peter Parker with Craven the Hunter, but I did not have this card in my list because no one takes this card. But my point being is that this is a mega niche case scenario. And it's not one that
They definitely made this card sound like more fun when they described it than it actually is. Because they're like, you gotta
Yeah.
jump through all these hoops, and then you can play it, and then it can win you the game. Yeah, there are hoops, but everything else they said was a lie.
uh, if they changed that to say round 5 instead of round 6, do you think that makes this way more playable?
Yes.
Yeah, I do too. I think that this becomes a card to play and to really genuinely contemplate if it said round 5 instead of round 6.
I think there's some game plan there with Sentinels that you can play attrition, stop your opponent from scoring, and if you could make it then round 5 and you're able to keep that power up, yeah, I think that's a real card.
Yeah. I think that's the fix to the, and I think it would be interesting. It would change like the dynamic of the game where your opponent knows that that's going to happen in round 5, and they have to win before then, or they're going to get crushed.
Or keep you from
I
getting
don't know.
11 power.
Or keep you from getting 11 power. You're
Or
right.
keep from
Something.
getting 10 VPs. If they can keep from getting 10 VPs, then you're only going to 15 and they're playing again.
I think that would be interesting. But this is the way that it's currently written is bad. I think it's unusable. Brandon, you haven't had a chance to weigh in. What are your thoughts?
I do. I think people are going to actively try to make this card a thing.
I mean,
I want to
best
play
of luck
against
to
those
them.
people.
Yeah.
I think it's. I think it's definitely a thing where I think people are gonna see it. I mean, I'm not saying like good players, for the record, but I think like people are gonna see the score 6 victory points and they're gonna try to make this a thing. And it was like. It's always like the thing with that, and it's always when these cards come out, when like even like when Modex cards came out, like everyone was, you saw people and they were like, well, I want to do this where I can use all 3 of my like tactics cards and I'll score like 6 VPs, and it's all fun and games, but like, and the one time it'll work, it'll happen against Fred, which is like the best part about it is that like the one time it does work, it'll be against Fred.
You're right.
But it'll be it's not a good card. It's a fun card.
Yeah.
It'll be fun for people who don't know the rules of the game very well, and a lot of their games are going super long, and they get to play this card and have a great time with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's move on to some new cards. So the next card alphabetically that's new in this set that they dropped is called Extinction Event. It is for Omega Sentinel, who is a character we have not done yet, and I think that we should just hold off until we do Omega Sentinel. Do you agree? Do y'all agree?
Yes, Fred. You're our fearless leader. We're just following you.
All right. The next one is called Greater Than the Sum, and we will talk about that one later in this episode when we're talking about Bastion, the character. The next one is Know Thy Enemy. Same deal. We will talk about this later on this episode when we talk about Bastion. But there is another card that we should talk about that is a Nimrod-specific card called Technological Jumpstart. Okay, this is a Sentinel-specific card. It is active. Nimrod the Hunter may spend 4 power to play this card. Each other allied Sentinel's character gains 2 power. This card rules. I think this card is great. I want you guys to tell me why I'm wrong. Jeff, what are your first thoughts about this card?
Sure. What is the opportunity cost here? I guess Nimrod, instead of spending the 4 on this card, could be teleporting himself. He could be almost doing his spender. He could be doing his area attack. And then you're only giving power to other Sentinels characters. So, obviously you're bringing a Sentinels leader, but, maybe you're giving it to 1, 2, or 3 other characters. I think it's good. I know other people have a lot of success with cards like this, but I don't know if I'll play it.
I think that Bastion being able to teleport Nimrod in round 1 means it's very likely that Nimrod will be able to make a builder attack against a model, and all he needs to do is do 2 damage. And if he's able to get that, then that's your entire team powered up much more than you're otherwise thinking. I think it's a great start. Like, it's a real good way to get rolling with Sentinels. Steven, what do you think about this card?
I think that if you like it that much, that maybe it's a card we should avoid.
I mean, fair, knowing my track record.
I'm just teasing with you a little bit. Maybe it makes your 10, but not your 5. So
Okay. Maybe I'm overhyping it. Brandon, what do you think about this card?
You can use this card before you use the other card to make sure you always have the power to get your 6 victory points.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. yeah, okay.
Ultimately, I think
and-
4 power is a lot, and to spread it out, I think it'll mostly come down to how much power problems are you going to have playing Sentinels.
Fair. Brad, what do you think about this card?
So, Fred, I'm going to circle back to your beginning of the gameplay. Bastion teleports Nimrod. Nimrod double taps someone, gets the 2 power.
Mm-hmm.
Then he has to spend 3 of it to teleport onto a point.
Okay.
And can't play the card.
Yeah.
That's what actually
All right.
happens.
Yeah.
Nimrod uses a lot of power throughout the game. He cannot afford to spend 4 power on this card. Now, that is with my experiences playing him with Bastion leadership. If you're playing him with Prime leadership and dazing, KOing models gives people power, that might be enough that you can play this card and really double down. But like all your other people already are getting tons of power, so
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're saying that this is like an inverse of what you want. If there was another one that like a different Sentinel paid for, and Nimrod got that power,
or you know
somehow.
what would be really cool?
What?
Each Sentinel model that you have can pay 2, and for each model that paid, Nimrod gets a power.
Like literally invert it.
Yeah.
But it becomes much more useful because Nimrod is your power sink.
Yes. Yeah. Between his throw, his place, his defensive dice, which are really cool, and his cool attacks, like you just want to spend all of his power on the stuff on his card already.
That is fair. That's absolutely fair. That's honestly my biggest problem with the card plots within plots, is that I end up spending most of the power on Maximus the Mad on himself, like using the powers that he has available to him, not on 4 power for a very good movement shenanigans card.
Alex is going to be so disappointed to hear this.
I know. I know. All right. Well, those are the cards. We had that discussion when we played.
I know.
I mentioned that. Okay. All right. So those are the cards that are Sentinel specific that came out recently. Let's move on to games that we've played recently. So I'll start off. There was a listener to this podcast who reached out and was going to be in the area near South Charleston and wanted to see if we wanted to play. His name was Alex. He was super cool, and he knew what he was doing. Like, he was very good at this game. This is something that I want to encourage. If you are going to be in the area and you want to play against us, reach out, and we'll see if we can make it happen. Like, I always enjoy playing games of Marvel Crisis Protocol, especially against people I've never played against before. So, yeah, I very much enjoyed the game that we played.
Hold on.
I was playing.
Fred,
Oh,
before you
sorry.
move on,
Yeah.
I just want to say if you are going to be in the area and want to try to schedule a meetup, you can email the crithitwild@gmail.com email address. That's in the description. And that's what Alex did. We hooked him up. And I promise if we say we will be there, someone will be there to play you a game. We won't flake on you.
Yeah. We'll do our best to make it work.
Yeah.
Now there are going to be circumstances that come up where no one will be able to do it, but
Right, but we'll tell you that ahead of time. We'll be like,
yeah,
sorry, we
yeah.
can't make it.
Right. Okay. So we were playing on Macron crystals and on senators. So there are already 10 victory points on the table to begin with. So this is going to be a quick game, I felt like. We played at 19 threat, I think. Yes, it had to have been 19 threat. I was playing Inhumans, and he was playing Shield. I played Maximus the Mad, King Black Bolt, Karnak, Gorgon, and Baron Zemo. He played Rescue, Nick Fury, the one with grunts. I guess that's Nick Fury Jr. is the correct name for him. He played Hulk. He played. Oh boy, what else did he play? I'm flaking on what the rest of his team was, and I feel bad about it. I believe he also played Baron Zemo. That is correct. He played Baron Zemo. So he has one more model that I can't think of right now. So I'm sorry, Alex. I can't remember exactly what you played. But this game started with him throwing Hulk at me using the Shield Mobile. And this is a devastating combination, Hulk with Shield. And Hulk had a great round one. He dazed my Baron Zemo. He did damage elsewhere against, I believe he punched Karnak, did a bunch of damage to him. And I started off in round one, scoring a total of 3 victory points to his 7. So things did not go well for me in round one. I think also I had a thing happen where Karnak moved up to punch his Baron Zemo, and I didn't flip the Macron crystal that he was on when I moved up. I had planned to do it after I'd made the attack. But of course, I roll a skull on my leadership reroll, which means that he gets placed off the point, so I can't flip the point. And this was too late in the round for me to head back and flip it. So I ended up not getting that point in round one. And I think actually Alex was able to swipe it away from me with someone else. But round two is the exact opposite, where everything sort of started going my way, and I score 7 victory points to his 3. I think that he had some bad rolls, and a lot of stuff went well for King Black Bolt specifically. Like, King Black Bolt was a house this game. And then round 3 came around. I successfully pull off a Terrigenesis. The most important thing for me is succeeding in a Terrigenesis. And we ended up getting very close point-wise to the end of the game. With those extra 2 points, I was at 12 victory points, and I only needed 4 to pull out a win. And he had 10 victory points, so he needed 6 to pull out a win. He started swinging back against me, and he is definitely getting more out of this round than I am, but I only need 4 victory points to win. And at the end of the game, I remember his last model. It was Black Widow, 2-threat Black Widow. 2-threat Black Widow is his last activation. She has to go to one of the Macron crystals and flip it. If she succeeds in flipping it, then he wins the game. And if she fails in flipping it, I win the game. And he rolled his dice, and it came up blank. And so I won this game based off of a 50-50 die roll. But this was an excellent game. Alex was a great opponent, and I hope to play him again in the future. All right. I'm going to throw it over to Jeff. Jeff, why don't you tell us about some of the games that you've played recently?
Sure. I was able to play 2 games against Savage, who is a friend of the podcast, and he was trying to learn Mighty Avengers, while I was trying to learn the new Sentinels, and I'll kind of generalize these 2 games together. So I was playing Bastion Leadership, since that's the new fun thing to do. I was bringing Omega Sentinel in both those games, 3-threat Prime Sentinel. For the first game, I brought Ultron Metal Tyrant and Baron Zemo. And then the second game, I brought, I believe, Nimrod, Nebula, and Prowler, in addition to that other 3-model core. So both these games, Savage won, and I think what really helped there was Mighty Avengers being able to pass power to people and having some still pretty quality dice pools, attack dice pools against me. So he was still gaining power, even though I was, stopping him from gaining power on my attacks. In the end, I think the first game came down to my Omega Sentinel as the last model on my side, and he had 1 model on his side, but he was still too far ahead and I couldn't catch up. So he won that first game. And the second game, I think, was a little more towards Savage, and he was able to take down my team, but Nebula in particular was a big thorn in his side. So that was fun, playing against Mighty Avengers. In addition to that, I played 1 narrative MCP game, so this was on TTS as well. We weren't playing on competitive tournament rules, so what I ended up playing in this game was actually Gamma Shelters, which is, maybe more the kitchen table people out there still play that, but I haven't played that in almost a year now. And that is just straight down the middle, 3 secures, and Montesi, so the magic books, 3 extracts straight down the middle, and that was also a bloodbath. I was playing Sentinels, so I was with Bastion, that was with Cassandra Nova that time, again, another 3-threat Prime Sentinel, I was playing Baron Strucker that time, and I had to play Taskmaster. So the narrative part of that was that Taskmaster and Winter Soldier were facing off basically on a big highway battle. So I had Taskmaster, my opponent was playing Avengers with Winter Soldier, and Avengers Winter Soldier just won out. But that was a lot of fun, and it's been a minute since I played Gamma Shelters, so that was kind of a blast from the past for me. So a lot of fun games, a lot of Sentinels practice. That's about it for me.
Was Gamma Shelter as annoying as I remember it?
It wasn't that bad, but it was that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was also playing kind of gunline Avengers, and I threw Taskmaster up to the middle point on my first activation. He was standing in cover. As you may know, Taskmaster gets extra defense dice against a second attack, which I didn't think was going to happen that much, so I thought it was going to be safe. In addition to that, I had Baron Strucker, who walked up and gave him a reroll on defenses. In addition to that, I had Bastion, who could walk up and teleport him backwards. Still, even though I had all those options, he went down. Taskmaster, I think, was dazed at the end of round 1, KO'd at the end of round 2, and I was immediately down 3 threat. And, of course, he threw his Montesi book towards the Avengers, who then picked it up.
Of course. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks.
Yeah, I did not get to make attack with him. I think Taskmaster is a good model, but I didn't get to attack with him, so I couldn't see his full power.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry that nothing went your way this recently in games.
Yeah, even though the power of Sentinels is great, I have not won with them yet.
Okay. Well, Steven, do you have any games that you want to talk about?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay. And Brandon, do you have any games that you want to talk about?
Oh yeah. I played a game against Necrons, and I was playing Chaos Demons. I played very few models. He played very few models, and we had a good time.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Hey, I don't know who those characters are. Are those new characters to this game of MCP that we're talking
Yeah.
about right now?
Yeah, one's called Kairos the Fate Weaver. There's a Be'lakor and a
Oh my god.
Scarbrand.
I would
I played a
I would love to
Bloodthirster and a Lord
say
of Chain.
I would love to say that these characters are not in Marvel Comics, but I have not read the Marvel Comics 40K comics and do not know for sure if that is true or not.
They might actually show up. I
The
think that's
ones,
very
most
unlikely.
of the ones I originally named were the named Greater Demons, and there's probably a good shot that they did show up.
All right, well, Brad, I'm throwing it to you. I know that you've played a few games, so why don't you
I
talk
played
about them?
2 games. So the first game against CJ, I was also playing Sentinels under Bastion's leadership. CJ has been playing for quite a while now. Web Warriors. So this game, I played Directive 1 on turn 2, dazed his entire team except Miles, and I mean that won me the game. Eventually, it just he couldn't quite ever recover from that because my characters were healthy and his were not.
Right. Yeah, Directive 1 is built specifically to fight web warriors, I think.
It's also pretty good against Inhumans,
It
although
really is.
in my next game against Inhumans, right after that, I played it and got to make
Like
2
one attack.
attacks. That's
Yeah,
it.
not very many. Yeah, his opponent in his second game is Fred Walker, me, who things. This is a game where basically everything went my way. Like I can't. It was everything that could go right for me went right. We were playing on intrusions, and what was the extract?
Was
I don't remember what
it
extract.
was it the pull you towards the secures
Yes,
one?
it was unexpected guests. So it was a Terragenesis available one. Uh, yeah, and in this game, in round 1, I'm able to push Bastion away 2 times. Like Bastion takes the middle point. Karnak is able to move up and punch him, and I did 0 damage, which was key, and I was able to trigger my wild push, so I pushed Bastion once. And then King Blackbolt was able to move up and scream at everybody, and King Blackbolt again hit the wild against Bastion without doing any damage, pushed him, and I've kept Bastion out of the game from that point forward. Bastion had no power because I did no damage, and I pushed him way into his backfield. So that was super clutch for me in round 1. And then I pull ahead pretty early on scenario. And then attrition catches up to me. Brad, I'm going to throw it back over to you because I kind of don't remember everything that occurred.
I don't know. He kept running from Nimrod, but it was intrusions, right? Or was that against CJ? Yeah, intrusions. So I got to teleport. I went with King Black Bolt in the middle. I went hard on the flanks, and that I think really helped me claw back into this game, so I wasn't completely embarrassed. Unfortunately, Fred very easily tears Genesis the Mark IV, and
Did.
then got enough points to win.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
same route.
At the end of the game, I only had King Black Bolt left. You had taken out every other model, but
That's all you needed,
I
though.
was far enough ahead on victory points that you could not stop me from winning the game.
I threw literally every single model at King Black Bolt to try to get him to daze at the end of the game, and I think I only put like 2 damage on him.
Right.
I think we need to start like keeping track of like the percentage of which Fred wins games only because of Terrigenesis.
Oh, it's 100%. Like I can't win without it. It
Fred, you'll
is
never
really
guess
important.
the extracts I'm bringing to our first round of the tournament.
Are none of them civilians?
I mean, I know I'm playing you, so shouldn't I?
Yeah. You should bring 0 civilians.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, do you know what Josh Sinclair is playing recently?
I believe he's been playing around with Criminal Syndicate. It's kind of what he's been doing for the last year or so.
Yeah. Still Shadowland Daredevil?
He was messing around with a bunch of stuff,
Okay.
taking some inspiration, bringing a lot of 5s, doing some other stuff. I'm not sure what he logged.
Yeah. It's way too late to change my scenarios now that I'm thinking about it, but I maybe should have thought of that.
You were worried he's gonna drop a kingpin into you and
Yep.
run away with it on your superpowered scoundrels.
Yep. I am playing Superpowered Scoundrels.
Oops.
Yay.
Okay, well, that's insider information.
Yeah, I really thought I talked like our whole area out of playing Superpower Scoundrels. It's really on you guys.
Yeah,
at
but
this
then
point.
everyone stopped playing Kingpin, so it was safe to play it again.
The cyclical nature of Kingpin.
It is exactly. Everyone gets used to playing against Kingpin, and Kingpin starts losing, so no one plays Kingpin, and then everyone starts playing differently, and Kingpin comes back. It's like Darwin's finches. It's exactly Darwin's finches. Okay, well,
Darwin's
on
Finches
that
played
note,
MCP.
they did indeed. They had beaks that changed shape to better
know.
pick up specific models of MCP models.
They won Worlds one year.
All right, let's move on. Jeff, I hear you've been writing a lot recently.
Yeah,
Is that
so
correct?
I am happy to share my MCP thoughts here, but this isn't my usual way of doing so. So for the last about year, I've been writing articles about Marvel Crisis Protocol for the gaming site Frontline Gaming, which is a game store out in Las Vegas. So they had reached out previously to Bryce in our community, who kind of punted that offer over to me, and I took it up, and I'm having a great time writing about Marvel Crisis Protocol. And I would say my articles are trying to be towards someone that is a little more entrenched in the game. So maybe someone that'll be listening to a podcast like this, interested in what's coming out, whether it could be competitive or not. If it is, where to fit in, and what you might see on the table that's new. If that sounds interesting to you, I think you might enjoy checking out my articles. I don't know if I'm very brief in my writing, but at least I'm a little bit thorough. So check them out. I also try to post them on the MCP Reddit when they drop. But Frontline Gaming is basically the storefront.
Hey, I appreciate thoroughness. I have not read these yet, and I feel like I've been dropping the ball by not doing so. I need to get on that process.
When I was playing
and-
Inhumans, I wrote quite a bit about those. So
Well,
I
I
don't
need
think
to
you
read
have
those
anything to
stories.
learn, but you would certainly.
You're being way too modest. He has plenty to learn.
I was gonna say, like, there's plenty for me to pick up still at this point.
Didn't we just establish that he only wins if Terrigenesis goes off?
Yep,
Terrigenesis is good. It's a 4 VP swing.
it really is a good effect. It is a great card.
Should be banned.
Yeah. They already took away Great Refuge from me. You can't take both. You can't have both of them.
And I know we talk about it and it gets brought up a lot. Like, I don't understand how they looked at those two cards and were like, "This is the one we're going to take away."
I agree. I know why they did. They did because it created a circumstance where Black Bolt could attack their back line on round 1. But it still is
I'd rather
unfortunate.
have a turn 1 manipulation than a turn 0.
Oh yeah, where you know that things are looking bad when you draw a civilian
Or
extract.
just it changes what I play. It changes the
Yeah.
scenario I play because it's that strong of a card. We're not here to talk about Terrigenesis, though.
You're right. You're right. Okay. So I want to speak to our listenership. Jeff understands this stuff much better than I do. Trust his takes on things before you trust mine. That is the most important thing. So his articles are going to be a good source for information about this game.
And if you're interested to hear more about Sentinels, I will be dropping a Sentinels article just as soon as this episode hits. So if you're listening to this right now, go to Frontline Gaming and find my article. I write under the name Rolf the Dog, and that's me. So MCP, that's the only MCP content on there.
After you finish the episode, obviously.
Oh, of course. And the next one.
Right, yes. I'm going to say it again. Listen to Jeff's takes before you listen to ours. Jeff's takes are going to be better.
Hey. I was all right when you said listen to Jeff over you. That's objectively true. But all of us, Fred?
Yeah.
I feel like Jeff would mostly agree with a lot of my takes, I think, from the articles I've read, unlike Fred.
Hey, there's a comment section in the articles. Drop your own comments there, too. I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, Fred, shoot your ideas over
there. My many ideas that are all good. Are all excellent thoughts. Okay, let's move on to the person that we are here to cover today. That person being Bastion, otherwise known as Sebastian Gilberti. His defensive line is 4 physical, 4 energy, and 3 mystic. He has 7 stamina on the front of his card, but only 6 on the back of his card. He has a threat value of 4, size 2, and a medium mover, and he is affiliated with the Sentinels affiliation, and he is on a small base. Okay, Brad, why don't you do his attack suite?
His first attack is Energy, Disintegration Blast. Range 4, 5 dice, cost 0, gain power equal damage dealt. And Wild Degeneration. After this attack is resolved, the defender cannot have damage removed from it until the end of the activation phase this round. His second attack, also Energy. Tolerance is Extinction. It is Beam 4, 8 dice, cost 5. Hit Degeneration, which is the previous thing, so you can't heal. Wild Suppression for each attack. After each attack is resolved, the defender loses 1 power for each wild in the attack roll. And Crit Nanotech. After each attack is resolved, the defender gains the root special condition.
Okay. Hey, Jeff, why don't you do his affiliation and his first superpower?
So we know he's the leader of the Sentinels, so he'll be affiliated there. And his leadership for Sentinels is called Operation Zero Tolerance. And it reads, when an allied character makes an attack, if the defender would gain power for damage dealt by that attack, the defender gains 1 less power. If the defender has greater threat than the attacker, the defender gains 2 less power instead.
Okay. Why don't you do that first superpower as well?
All right. So his first superpower is an active called Advanced Teleportation Matrix. It costs 2 power, and it says choose this character or another allied character within range 2. Place the chosen character within range 2 of its current position. A character can be placed by the superpower only once per turn.
There's a hidden cost to this superpower. It also costs the taxpayers $1 million.
All right. Steven, why don't you do that reactive superpower that he's got?
Reactive superpower is Prime Nanovirus Reanimation Protocols. Will cost 1 power. When another allied non-grunt character within 5 is dazed or KO'd by an enemy effect, after the effect is resolved, this character may use the superpower. Choose one enemy character that caused the effect. The chosen character gains the root special condition and suffers 1 damage.
Okay, and Brandon, why don't you finish out the card?
He is an enhanced sentinel. He has enhanced sentinel cybernetics. During the power phase, this character gains 1 additional power. Additionally, when this character would suffer 1 or more damage from an enemy effect, reduce the amount of damage suffered by 1 to a minimum of 1. And he has the flight ability.
Right, and that is the card for Bastion. So, what does everyone think about this guy? I want to start with Jeff. I know
think
that
you want to
may
start with the tactics cards.
I want to start talking about this card that we just discussed. We'll discuss the tactics cards afterwards. Is there a reason? Okay, let's start talking about this guy. Jeff, what are your thoughts here on Bastion?
Oh man, this is so great. I think I fell in love with this card as soon as I saw it, and he's just the perfect package for leadership and a great leadership, one of the best leaderships we've seen recently in the game. So I think he's a tough leader and sit in the back line. He's not going to go down. You're not going to lose your leadership prematurely in this game. Plus, this leadership just has so many implications. It affects every single attack you're doing. It is going to benefit your characters doing damage to your enemies, which you already want to be doing. It's going to benefit your characters that have less threat than their target. So maybe you're going to go wider than your opponent. But I think everything on this card is great. I think he's a great model to bring in Sentinels. I'm not sure he'll be brought in any other splash, but that's okay. Maybe you have need for a 4 threat that teleports for 2 power that can do in the first activation. That's interesting. I like that. But really, the leadership is something that's amazing here. So I want to bring him in Sentinels, doing attacks, and I think as a leader, I love that he's being brought every game.
Yeah, I gotta say, I have played a couple games now against Brad using this leadership, and this leadership is debilitating. It turns out to be quite a bit of power that you are denied, especially when it's the little 3-threat guys who do the damage. Then, they do you 2 damage, and you gain no power. It can be really bad. You realize how much you count on that power when you don't get it.
Yeah, it breaks inherent parity in this game where you're doing damage, getting power usually with your builders, and they're taking damage, getting power. Now suddenly they aren't, and it kind of can snowball, it feels like.
Yeah, I play Maximus the Mad a lot, and his builder has suppressive, so if I get wild, I can deny my opponent power from that, and that is really powerful. This power denial, Steven, you can speak on this. I'll throw this to you now. You've built a list around power denial, and
Right.
it is a very strong effect. Okay, Steven, what do you think about Bastion here?
Well, I think this power denial that he brings with his leadership is more powerful than anything I could have ever built ad hoc with Mephisto.
Yeah.
But that being said, I can see characters taking advantage of this leadership and being splashed into it. My mind goes to Loki, the first iteration of Loki. He's just a 4-threat character, but he's also got that root bubble going on to deny more power. So I could see him being a honorary sentinel.
He has the under the skin. You bring him on with under the skin.
Or another good model I'm looking at is Punisher.
Ooh.
Because Punisher can bring his card for Blood Red and Personal when you get those people flipped, but also his rapid fire is automatic, and he's usually only pushing 1 damage through anyway. So that could be another avenue. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see power denial characters, especially ones that might have saps on them, like Enchantress or suppressions, start showing up in his leadership to complement out the Sentinels, especially in the 3-threat categories.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, Brandon, what do you think about this card? About this gentleman right here?
I think his leadership is how the stun special condition should work. But I like it's. I think my favorite part about it is how evil his card is. As like Bastion as a character, like I don't know a ton, but I know he's just like kind of like the epitome of evil, and I feel like everything on this card is that. Like I don't feel like you want to see any of this when you're playing against a character, and he has like all of it.
Like stuff to prevent you from healing. There's stuff to take away your power. There's stuff to give you the root condition, which just sucks. It's just annoying. Like, yeah.
It just feels like everything he's doing is very obnoxious. Like it's like he has built-in tech against a lot of the really good models in this game, which is probably something that the leadership or the Sentinels really needed just in general. I do like that they specified non-grunt on his reactive superpower.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm glad that's on there.
I think that's a general rule that's going to be going forward. So, but
whenever a trigger is a friendly model, or a model is dazed or KO'd, it specifies non-grunt. Yeah.
I'd like to go back and reiterate a little bit to Jeff's point that I actually do see him splashed in one specific place, and
where's that?
Is Strucker Hydra.
Strucker Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are your thoughts?
I've played around with this. I like this idea, Steven.
Strucker Hydra, because if somebody gets dazed or KO'd, he's given out root, which will heal him, and they suffer 1 damage. That's beautiful, and it only costs 1 power.
Yeah, I've played around with this with like a Scarlet Witch who can give out Judgment when she gets attacked, or Omega Red's a classic one. He gives out poison outside of activation, and he can be way more resilient. Yeah, when they give out conditions outside of activation, I think it's great.
Huh. Okay, I see. Yeah. All right. Well, that is a really good spot for him. All right, Brad. I'm going to throw it over to you. You who have played several games with Bastion, what are your thoughts?
I like him. He's real cool. I like him even better after the cards were revealed, which we'll get to in a second. Leadership, great. I gotta get better at reminding my opponent. Prime Nanovirus Reanimation Protocols is a great ability that I have never once remembered to do.
Oh, you gotta do it.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
Enemy on their action.
Yes, it's so good. Damage reduction, extra power. His spender is some of the most fun I've had rolling dice. It's you roll a bunch of dice on a bunch of models, and then you go through, and everything that's a success does something.
Right.
Love it.
I'll say this. I have been the recipient of several of this guy's beams. They are truly devastating. Like, he can place him, if he's got the power to do this, he can teleport himself into a position to line up a perfect beam 4, and then it'll kill. This is an 8 dice beam. It'll wipe out models. This is a killer of a spender.
Also,
I-
Immortal Hulk beware. This guy's got your
Oh,
number.
yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's a rules question. So because you brought it up, you said you have to remember to remind your opponent. So say like it's your responsibility in that moment to like let them know that that's a thing, right?
It's on both players to remember, because it's just an automatic thing. It's not a choice. But I believe the player Bastion should be reminding their opponent regularly.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. I don't like that it's something that's on the responsibility of the opponent personally. But
Yeah, it is something that if you're playing against it, you need to remember that it's a thing, because it is an important part of his leadership. And if you're not doing it, then it's really debuffing him. And if your opponent like asks you a question like, "Did you give yourself less power than than damage taken?" You've got to be honest about it. Like I know that this community is very good. Like this is a good community. Be
more of
honest.
what I was getting at is I think this should be a trigger and not something that is just like something that has to be like known, is more of what I was.
It's
indicating.
also
You mean like
it's also fairly easy to fix. Just like bleed at the end of the turn. If people forget it, it's pretty easy to fix. So
right? You just take a power off
Yeah.
or 2 power off if it's a 3 threat.
Well, I think that's kind of what I was getting at. If you make the attack and then they use like a superpower, like, or like they go into their activation and then like use the power, then it's like, oh crap, you shouldn't have had enough power to do that.
yeah, that at that point it may be too late. Like
Yeah, that's I mean, that's kind of. I just like I'm never gonna remember this playing against this model. Like, I play a lot of models with a lot of things going on all the time. Like, the last thing I'm gonna do is try to like have to remember
Brandon.
your leadership.
Brandon, that's not even true. You just play Kingpin and you move your models around the board. And take
I
way
have
too long
used-
to even do that.
The last like 4 games I've played, I think I played a total of like 60 minutes combined between all of them. So like I don't know if that's all the case.
I think this is like root or incinerate, where you want to make sure your opponent remembers it. So
Yeah.
it's happening. Just got to be clear communication with your opponent.
Right. It's the same circumstance. It's exactly the same as like root or shock. That's you just make sure to remind them that that's the case, and don't do it do it as calmly as possible. You know.
Make Bastion tokens and then just give them to me.
What does a Bastion token do?
It reminds me.
You grab it instead
More of a sign.
power. All right. Well, okay. I think that is enough about the card for Bastion.
Right.
Let's talk. Oh, yep.
And can we discuss? He's a leader. What kind of people does he want underneath him? I have something to say here.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. All right. What do you want to say?
Sure. So this leadership, right? You're making an attack. If the defender would gain power for damage dealt. So I think this leader wants characters that are very lethal, right? Characters that can be good at dealing damage. And that's not every character in the game, right? Maybe you want a character with Pierce. Maybe you want a character like Baron Zemo, who has an inherent reroll. I think those are characters he really is going to want on his team. In addition to that, you have things like now you're taking power away from your opponent. Maybe you play into that a little bit more. Maybe you play models like Rogue or Quasar, or I think Werewolf by Night, who can also pull power off the opponent. Things like Sap Power or Suppressive, things like that I think are great. Voodoo's great here. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then additionally to that, you when you have lower threat than the defender, you're also going to enhance this leadership. So maybe you're now playing things like 2-threat Nebula, who's great at attacking, and is now doing damage plus giving them 2 less power if she's doing 2 or more damage. Or grunts. Grunts are always have less threat than their target, and grunts always seem to do 1 to 2 to more damage.
They
So that's
You're
great
right.
there, I think. So that's, I mean, he has just a wealth of opportunities. I think there's a lot of synergies with his kit. And in addition to that, also models make additional attacks. So maybe rapid fire attack models, like Steven mentioned, attacks out of activation, like any strike back attack or any got your back attack. I think those are also interesting to look at here. I think there's a lot to test, and I'm excited to see what the community, decides what they want to play best. And it's not going to be, very narrow, simple, what the best thing is. I think there'll be a plurality of models we'll see playing with Bastion as splashes. So I'm excited to see what they play. Brad, what have you been playing with Bastion?
So I've leaned very heavily on the new models to try them out. But I've really liked just Sentinels in general, and it's worked well with Bastion too. Gambit. I like Gambit.
No.
Yes. Always
You don't
Gambit.
say, Brad. Gambit?
Always Gambit. I've tried Nebula.
Never leave home without him.
I tried Nebula. She keeps getting nuked off the table before I get any use of her because everyone hates Nebula. Which is fine. If she dies, that's other people not getting attacked. And I've really thought about, but I haven't actually tried her out, Domino.
Yeah, I've thought about that too.
Yeah, Domino's a good one. Let me see who's actually in my list. Oh, I put Wong in my list because they all have 1,000,000 health.
Okay, yeah, sure.
But that doesn't really
Healing.
fit. That doesn't really fit.
To that end, I do think Sentinels under Bastion want to play pay to flips, and now they're going to have inherently more power than their opponent, and I think they
Yes.
can just use that to their advantage. Not only is Omega Sentinel, you guys talk about probably next week, good at
Yes.
those, but I've been playing Prowler, who's good at interacting as well. Plus, I think I've been trying out Rogue. I've played Nebula, which I found to be great. She is just kind of the most annoying mosquito on the table, and opponents are using actions to kill her, and it's a little more effort than I think they want to expend to kill her.
Yes. That is her value. Is your opponent is like, oh, I've got to kill her before she kills me, and she cannot affect the victory point state. Like, that's what's so good about her.
Well, she can affect it, just not in a positive
Well,
way for you, just in a negative
right.
way for your opponent.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And one last thing too
Sure.
is
Sure. Go ahead.
characters that have beam or area attacks. I think are pretty good under this as well. So people like Vision, Crimson Dynamo, I'd be interested to try those out as well. Plus, Vision has that sap beam, so that would be kind of interesting if we ever get crises again that can line up enemy models.
Yeah.
And that's it. I swear.
What?
I'm done.
Hold on, I have a question for you, Jeff. How you feel about models like Black Cat or anyone else who Shuri that limit you to 1 damage, so you plink away and they get nothing?
I think this is the one leadership Black Cat doesn't want to be played in. Surprisingly, I think she's not going to take advantage of it enough, and it's not your game plan. Now, just 1 damage in general.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but I think you have better options out there where you're going to be getting just 2 to 3 to 4 damage, probably more often.
What about
characters that do 1?
What about Rescue specifically, who has that mechanic, can put your models back on points and heal them?
Yeah, I've tried Rescue in other affiliations. I like her. I've had struggle with her kind of when she wants to activate. Sometimes it's you need to heal someone up right away, but also you can't medevac an unactivated character.
Right.
So I find that a little bit of a struggle. I'd be willing to try her here for sure.
Yeah. That was my question. It's just what were your thoughts on those?
Yeah. Does everyone out there hear how eloquent Jeff is about the models that he's talking about? This is why you need to read his articles on what's the name of the website
Frontline
again?
Frontline Gaming, FLG.
Frontline Gaming FLG. All right. Well, and this is my first opponent in the Appalachian Cup Finals. Pray for me, everybody.
Fred,
The great
just
thing
All
is
right.
that
Fred-
you're a great player, so we'll have a good time.
Fred, just
Yeah,
get
we will indeed have a good time.
just get Terragenesis off and you win.
Yeah, you're right. All right, let's talk about some of these tactics cards that are Bastion specific because they are good. All right, so the first one, alphabetically, is greater than the sum. It is an unaffiliated active tactics card. Bastion and Nimrod the Hunter may spend 2 power each to play this card. Bastion gains the healing factor 2 and immunity to bleed and poison superpowers for the remainder of the game. All right, Jeff, what do you think about this card?
Oh no, I was hoping Brad would talk first.
I can.
I am going to assess this card in the way that it will only heal you 2, because that is when you get to choose to play it. You can choose to play it. He's still alive, and hopefully it's during his activation, so he'll get healing factor 2 at the end. And there's no guarantee for the rest of the game anything else will help you. And if that's true, I'm not sure it's good enough. Now, obviously, that's the ceiling. That's the that's the bottom. That's the worst this card could be. The best this card could be is that he's gaining 2 health every round for the rest of the game. And I think there's better things you can be doing with your 4 power and your tactics cards.
Yeah, this is 2 power off of the 2 people who want power most in your affiliation. And so that is bad. I will say this, Bastion is really hard to kill. There's something we didn't really harp on very much when we were talking about his card. He reduces damage by 1 to a minimum of 1. So he has damage reduction on top of a pretty good defensive line. If he has healing factor 2, that's actually healing factor 2 as well as those. I meant 2 as in okay. It raises his survivability even higher. Brad, what are your thoughts on this card?
I love this card. You can very consistently play it turn 2, and it should heal you more than 2 throughout the game. It's not guaranteed. I have been, because Nimrod also has healing factor, I've been playing instant recovery with my Sentinels. And this unlocks instant recovery for him. And that helps to his survivability too. Like, since when I played this card both games, the last 2 games of Sentinels I played, I don't think Bastion flipped on either game.
They definitely flipped him.
You flipped him?
I definitely flipped him.
Okay. It took a while, but he was also pushed out of the game most of the game.
Yes, yeah, it was King Black Bolt Master punched him, and then you didn't activate him, and I activated Zemo and sprinted in and stabbed him.
He should have died there, and I'm an idiot.
Right, there was a little bit of a misactivation issue.
Yeah.
Brandon, what do you think about this card?
I like it. I think I like it a lot, especially in a scenario if you're playing on, say, like Infinity Formula and like not a lot of extracts, where you can legitimately just play this on turn 1. They both have 2 power, and you can play it right off the bat, and you can move both of them up to a secure. It has to be like a scenario where there's not a lot of extracts on the field, where you don't need them to pick them up. And then being down a card, but having healing factor 2 online and immunities to bleeds. Poison's not as like relevant, but like bleed is still very relevant. It feels like
the poison is especially good in Terrigen canisters.
Yeah, but canisters that's 5 extracts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one where you might not want it, because you probably, unless you're 5 wide, like if you're 5 wide, you still set yourself up if you go first to get 3, or get 2 if you go second, and still have this like online. I like this as like a turn 1 play where you're not looking for it the rest of the game versus trying to play it like later in the game.
Okay. All right. Okay, everyone. I would throw it to Steven, but Steven has to take care of something, so he had to drop off the call. All right. Let's talk about the next card that is a Bastion specific tactics card. It is called Know Thy Enemy. It is a Sentinel specific tactics card. It is reactive. When Bastion or Prime Sentinel is attacked, after the attack is resolved, the defending character may spend 3 power to play this card. The character that played this card... Oh no! I just closed it, I'm sorry. The character that played this card and each allied Bastion and Prime Sentinel within range 3 of that character may make an attack with a power cost of 0, targeting the attacking character. So this is up to a triple slapback. Alright, what do you guys think about this? I'm going to throw it to Jeff first. Jeff, what do you think about this card?
I think strike back cards or superpowers are criminally underrated, and I really like this card. I'm not sure how often it's going to be great, and I agree with Brad's evaluation last week of Prime Sentinel of being kind of underwhelming. So I'm not sure I'm bringing Bastion and 2 Prime Sentinels. That's going to make this card really amazing, where I'm making 3 5-dice energy attacks at my opponent. That sounds really fun to do, but I'm not sure I want to give up the opportunity cost of having to take all 3 of those characters. Do I think I'm going to bring it? Yes, I think I'll bring in my 10. I think I'd be excited to play it because being able to take out an opponent during their activations, I think really powerful. I think Bastion actually survives being attacked quite often because of his damage reduction. And so now they're maybe not going to have to attack into Bastion. They're a little scared of it. So I like this card both in its use and dissuading my opponent from attacking into Bastion.
I'm going to start off by saying, who's underrating a slapback? They're amazing effects.
I mean, it's my favorite thing to do.
It really is like it is a great way to shut down your opponent's plans entirely. But yeah, I agree with your assessment entirely. Like, this is great. If you're bringing 2 Prime Sentinels, this is extra great. But bringing 2 Prime Sentinels means you're stuck with 2 Prime Sentinels for the game. All right, Brad, what do you think about this?
Yeah, if you have 2 Prime Sentinels and Bastion on the board, this is great. I am not bringing 2 Prime Sentinels. I may not bring any Prime Sentinels.
Yeah. I think that during our game, the Prime Sentinels did absolutely nothing. I think that they were an active hindrance.
That is not true. I played this card after Bastion got dazed to daze Baron Zemo on his own turn.
Did you? Can you do that? Because the defending character has to spend the power.
You attack the Prime Sentinel.
Is it attacked after the attack is resolved? The defending character.
Fred.
I attacked the Prime Sentinel.
You attacked the Prime Sentinel, and I played the card, and they both blasted you and dazed him. And he dropped this. He dropped the next track in the. I had to go with someone eventually to pick it up, or you may have picked it up. I don't remember.
But, I don't remember either.
Yeah, they did almost nothing in that game. They did very little.
That was what they did. So this card was very good for you. It got something out of your Prime Sentinels. Okay, Brandon, what do you think about this card?
I think if you're playing those 2 models, you definitely play it. I'm not even against the fact that if you're just playing Bastion, from what I'm gathering, there's no real reason to just play Prime Sentinel. So if you're just playing Bastion, I don't hate taking this just to have that option as like a clapback, just even as a one-time clapback. But I think if you're playing both of these models, I think it's kind of a no-brainer. But I am very, very high on clapbacks. Like, I'm glad Fred asked the question because I don't know if I would take anybody serious if they were like, I don't think clapbacks are very good. I'm like, I just think you're wrong. I think it's arguably the best superpower you can have in the game.
There'll be a funny point of time in MCP when Bastion will be here and Prime Sentinels will not be released yet. So we'll have a
Yeah.
TTC that refers to them, and you cannot have those models yet.
Cannot do the thing yet. Yeah, I've
You're
built
right.
multiple lists around clapbacks. So, yeah, I think this card is great. So,
Yeah.
this is like the type of card. If this card just was an unaffiliated card and didn't have like they just said win a defending character, and it cost like and it gave like a clap back, just one, I would probably play it all of the time.
Well, you would play it, and every other player would play it, and it would be a restricted card.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know if you think I see a problem with that because I don't. Yeah, but I
Okay.
definitely think if you play both of these models, I think it's a no-brainer. And if there's a world, which apparently there's not going to be, that if you're playing two Prime Sentinels in Bastion, I think this card is absolutely like I think that might be a reason to play two of them, especially if when we get new scenarios, if there are scenarios like the older ones, like Gamma, or just any E's that are right down the middle. I feel like this is really a card that you could worthwhilely take both just because 3 power to get 3 free attacks out of turn is just insane.
Yeah. I absolutely, it's wild.
Like
There's
imagine
a corner
thought it would-
case.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, there's a corner case as well where Prime Sentinel can give out root during this clapback, and then possibly now you have that root you can pull off to reroll attacker dice on their next attack. You know what I mean? So you
Oh,
kinda
yeah,
wanna
you're right.
put on root, and now Prime Sentinel's turned on that can use that root an additional time later on. Which, of
You could
course,
also-
in Brad's condition, you never give out root, and I agree, but hopefully you do.
You can also turn off healing factor.
Absolutely, that's another great thing.
Ooh, yeah.
Man, what an amazing card. All right, we got to give a letter grade to Bastion. So, Bastion rules. Everything about his card rules. His leadership is great. I think that we talked it up, and I think that it's better than we talked about. Like, it is a really great leadership. It's going to be one of the top tier leaderships, in my opinion. I think that this model is an A+. I'm giving him an A+. I think this model is great. Brad, what do you think about Bastion?
I don't know. Let's go A. I mean, great leadership, great model. A.
Jeff, what letter grade are you going to give to Bastion?
I think this is an A+ model. I think you're happy. He's the perfect kind of package you want for this leadership and what he brings to the table. So A+.
A+. And Brandon, what are you going to give to him letter grade wise?
I think I'm closer to Brad. I don't know if it's for the same reasons, but I think the leadership's great. I think everything about this card's great. I think the health pool could become an issue. I'll be honest.
Until just now, I thought he was a 5-threat model. So, like, give me a second. I gotta reevaluate. Yeah, no, I really thought he was a 5-threat this entire time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go A+. I changed my mind.
Yeah.
I legitimately thought he was a 5-threat this entire time.
He's a 4-threat. That's crazy.
Yeah, I legitimately thought this entire time he was a 5-threat. I was legitimately worried about, like, I was like, man, I don't know why no one's talking about his health pool. Like, health pool for a 5-threat at like 7/6 feels real rough, even with damage reduction. Like, and I don't.
It's
I
better
just
than
never. Yeah, it just. Yeah, no, I think he's great. I think the biggest holdup on him is simply the affiliation. I'm still not gonna be oversold on the other models and Sentinels. So I think that's probably my biggest concern. But it's still not. I think he does enough and does a lot at 4-threat. So yeah, I'm a and the A+ with the tactics card, A without the tactics card. My final answer.
Okay. So A+. Because the tactics card exists.
Did it exist? do exist.
It does
Well,
exist.
well,
All right.
well, he's an A until the Prime Sentinels come out. So
Oh, fair. Okay.
yeah,
All right. So we're up on this guy. This guy's great. Everyone, I mean, this is the cornerstone of new Sentinels, I think. Okay. Let's move on to comic book recommendations. I'm going to throw it over to Brad. Brad, do you have any comic books that feature old Sebastian here?
I do, and I want to make this clear, Fred, that I have 3, and do not forget that. Number 1.
Okay.
Number 1's kind of weird because Bastion is not in this comic. Uncanny X-Men 246 to 247 by Chris Claremont and Mark Silvestri. Nimrod becomes his final form and turns into Master Mold to create new Sentinels. Carol Danvers, who is currently, her personality, in control of Rogue's body, stumbles across him, fights him off, and the X-Men come to rescue and send the Nimrod Master Mold through the Siege Perilous. And this is the origin of Bastion.
Boy, you just said a lot of words.
I sure did.
Those were some words.
Bastion is a Nimrod Master Mold melded, sent through a magical portal that turns you into your ideal self.
Okay.
That's the origin.
So he's not a human named Sebastian?
No.
What is this alias?
He thinks he's human.
Okay.
He's adopted.
Okay.
I don't
Brad?
think that's in the comics, but it might be. You read them more recently than me, which we'll get to in a second. Uncanny X-Men 333 to 334. This is Scott Lobdell and Pasquale Ferry. This is my second recommendation. This is Bastion's first appearance where he's not just in shadow. And this is during the Onslaught event. And it's the B plot of him getting the government to fund Operation Zero Tolerance. And he shows up in some various comics during this Onslaught event. And then in Operation Zero Tolerance. And Jeff, you recently read Operation Zero Tolerance. What are your thoughts?
Yes. Okay, so yes, I was able to digitally read the Operation Zero Tolerance hardcover compiled story for this era, which is about 20-some stories, and it was a very mixed bag in here, and maybe I have less experience reading in the 1997 era. Maybe, Brad, you can tell me why Generation X is so weird and angsty teenager terrible. Also, there's like 4 storylines every issue.
Generation X is wonderful, I just want to say.
Okay, all right.
Maybe
I
not
will
in
cede it to
the
you.
late 90s, but in the, for the first, 25, 30 issues, that comic is peak, as the kids say.
Are they better than D-Generation X is the real question.
Yes.
I think at a certain point they Deus Ex Machina them like from being stranded to now they're just fine again. It was very interesting to read. The first comic I want to highlight out of this grouping is Uncanny X-Men number 346. It's a story called The Story of the Year. Now, Fred, who do you think are the main characters of Uncanny X-Men 346?
I would assume the Uncanny X-Men. Is that incorrect?
I believe you're looking for Amazing Spider-Man, J. Jonah Jameson, and a mutant called Marrow.
So I'm... Oh, boy. I'm completely wrong.
I do think this is a great... I think this is a great story. So it deals a little bit early part of Operation Zero Tolerance, where Bastion is kind of this state-sponsored violence, obviously, in the United States. It's a transnational organization, and now they're hunting down mutants, right? And J. Jonah Jameson kind of sees this news program on TV that says, like, oh, Operation Zero Tolerance is great, mutants are terrorists. He's like, I want to do my own story. Don't believe anything you see on TV. So it's kind of a little bit of that story, which I thought was great. And then Spider-Man, who's stopping Marrow, who's a Morlock, I believe, and she's trying to do violence, and ASM is trying to stop her. So there's that part of the story as well. I thought it's great.
Okay.
Is the
And yes, Brad.
is the issue with Iceman in the hospital in there?
So I second your recommendation from last week.
Yeah.
X-Men, I believe 65 to 69 or 70 is that kind of main storyline. I think that's really the only thing you need to read for Zero Tolerance. I think that's the best one. I think it's really enjoyable. I remember Cecilia Reyes, right? From Krakoa era, and this is, I guess, her introduction.
Yes,
and I think
it
she's
is.
great. And I love Iceman, so I thought this was a really cool story. Although how they diffuse the climax, I didn't really like, but I'll let you read that for yourself. And I have one last highlight here. Now, Fred, who do you think is the main character of a book called X-Man? Not X-Men,
Well-
but X-Man.
X-Man. I mean, that's a great question, and I know that Brad has mentioned that character exists. There's a person named X-Man, and God help me, I don't know who it is. So I'm just gonna say Wolverine, and just be wrong.
Brad, do you know? I bet you know.
Oh yeah, I know. I've read all 75 issues of X-Men series. He is the child of Jean Grey and Scott Summers, created by Mr. Sinister in the Age of Apocalypse, but then came to this main universe. He is an alternate universe version of Cable called Nate Grey.
So, and this was funny to me. I've never heard of this book before, and I read an issue or two of it, and I just find it amazing that peak '90s Cable had multiple books where he is like the main character.
Yeah.
But like different versions of him, right? So you have Nate Grey, X-Man, you have a Cable standalone story, and you have X-Force, where I think he's still a big part of it. So he was the Wolverine of the '90s.
Yeah.
And that's it. I think X-Men is really the title you want me reading here, and the rest of it, even the Wolverine stories, I didn't really enjoy that much.
Yeah. The late 90s were a rough time for Marvel in general. I was going
That's just comics in general, right?
Well, Grant Morrison was on GLA. That was probably a high point. Justice League. I did want to tell Fred one thing about X-Man, Nate Grey. One of Nate Grey's girlfriends is Madeline Pryor, the biological mother of Cable and clone of Jean Grey.
So he's in a relationship with his mom.
Kinda. Yep. It's super
his
weird.
mom-ish.
Yeah,
It is
so-
super weird. How Back to the Future can we get this?
That's
Cable
the
and
most
Nate
X-Men
Grey.
thing ever, though.
Cable and Nate Grey are kind of half brothers. They talk about, and then so he's dating his half brother's mother.
Oof.
Who is a clone of his mother, but his mother's from a different universe. So
God, talk about Oedipus. Come on.
Yeah, seriously.
it's rough. Okay, and then
This is influenced by Back to the Future 100%, right?
He's
a time traveler. He dates his mom. How many times can this come up?
X-Man is not a time traveler.
Sure. I'll take you. Okay. He's certainly not a time traveler. You're right.
All right. My third recommendation, because I told Fred I had 3. X-Force Volume 3. This is Craig Kyle, Chris Yost, and Clayton Crain. This is the black and gray era of X-Force. Cyclops has decided that what mutants need to survive is a proactive hit squad to take out the threats before they can kill mutants. Wolverine leads that hit squad, and their first mission is to take out the new Purifiers, which one of their leaders is Bastion. Bastion does not die in this in the first story and is an ongoing villain throughout the book and the big crossovers that are happening in this era that all have, well, Second Coming doesn't, but the others have Messiah in the name, and he keeps trying to kill Hope.
No.
This is a great comic. I love this run of X-Force, and people should give it a try. It is super violent. Just a warning.
Ooh, I like super violent.
Okay, well, thank you, Brad. So those were your recommendations, right? That was 3?
Yep.
Okay.
Can I propose a question to Brad while you do your part, and then to give him time to think about it?
Sure.
Because Bastion's really, and I could be wrong, but he's the last like really big X-Men villain, right? That we haven't got in this game.
Okay, Fred, you do your thing while I think.
Okay, all right. Well,
I want you to rank them.
my event. Oh boy, now I'm all messed up. The last thing that I do is a non sequitur recommendation. Okay, Bastion. I don't have anything here. Like, I don't know anything about this character. I don't know what to do. So what I'm going to talk about is a book series that I've been reading recently that I absolutely adore. And many of you who are tapped into the nerdosphere will have heard of this before. This is the book series Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. These are a fantastic series of books that find a man, just a normal man, who is suddenly drawn into a like an otherworldly RPG dungeon that he has to survive in with his cat. And his cat can suddenly talk because she is awakened in the first book. These books are hysterically funny. These books are extremely action heavy and very fun. These books are sometimes deeply poignant and sometimes shockingly sad and sometimes incredibly bleakly violent, like deeply troublingly violent. I adore these books. These books are excellent. Highly recommend that everyone read these books. Yeah, that's my recommendation. That is the Dungeon Crawler Carl series.
I thought you were going to mention the voice actor for Bastion, who I believe is Theo James.
It is Theo James, which would have given him like infinite amount of things to talk about.
Oh boy, I didn't do enough research.
So, as someone who saw The Monkey in theaters, I can't recommend it. But he does have a movie coming out, I believe, in American cinemas this year called Fuse, which is a British movie, and the plot is that there's an unexploded World War II bomb on a busy construction site in the center of London. Chaos ensues as a mass evacuation begins, but also it's a cover for a heist.
Ooh.
Did you not like The Monkey?
No, I did not like The Monkey.
Oh, that's a shame.
I want to see
thought
that
it was
movie.
kind of fun.
Watch Final Destination Bloodlines.
Oh yeah, okay.
I was not in on this Fuse movie till you got me right at the end.
Oh
You
yeah,
said the word heist.
I believe they're hiding it a little bit, but it's definitely a heist movie.
Awesome. So the big X-Men villains that I thought of that we do not have in this game are Onslaught, who has been announced. Mikhail Rasputin. This is Colossus and Magic's older brother. Figure we'll get him eventually. And the U.S. government. I don't think they're going to put the U.S. government in the game.
We're all dealing with them. It's fine.
Okay. Do you think they'll ever put Rasputin the fourth in?
Oh, she was such a popular character, yes. And I'm here for it.
Me too.
That's such a cool character.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it for our show today. Hey, Jeff, thank you for joining us. This has been an excellent episode.
Pleasure to be here. Have me back anytime you want.
Will do, definitely. I also want to say, check out Frontline Gaming for Jeff's articles on MCP. I certainly will be myself in the near future. Maybe I will learn some stuff that will help me not get completely destroyed in my first round of the Appalachian Cup against Jeff. Oh God, now I'm so nervous. All right, well, thank you all for listening. Thank you for joining us. Thanks, Brandon, for being here. I always love having you on the show. You have great opinions, and I miss them when you are not here. And thank you, everyone out there listening. And hopefully you all have wonderful games of MCP. Goodbye, everybody.